Out of all the longest crafting recipes in Terraria, there's one that has always been the most notorious and debated over regarding whether or not it's even worth it. That accessory is the Ankh Shield. Combining the effects of over 10 different accessories, it provides the player with immunity to the 13 different debuffs listed on the screen now. In today's video, I'm going to review this accessory and judge how good it is based on a couple different merits, including how hard it is to obtain, how useful it is for its stage of the game, and possible alternatives. Let's get straight into it. Okay, first of all, let's talk about Obtainment. Like I said before, the Ankh Shield is a combination of a dozen different accessories all meshed into one ultimate accessory. All of the 12 accessories used to make it are dropped from a variety of different enemies with relatively low drop chances, usually around 1 to 2%. On top of this low drop chance, most of the ingredients are only available in hard mode with the exception of 4 of them: the Obsidian Skull, Cobalt Shield, Biozar, and Nazar. You'll have to fight a wide variety of enemies around the map and in different biomes to get everything you need. From mummies to clowns to jellyfish, it won't be easy. The only good thing in terms of obtainment is that most of the enemies that you need to hunt down to get the Ankh Shield's ingredients are pretty common, like the hornets in the jungle, pixies in the hallow, and giant bats underground. Overall, it's not horribly difficult to craft, although still pretty annoying and may require some grinding based on your luck and the stage of the game that you're in. In terms of how good the Ankh Shield actually is once you get it, I think that this is where the accessory falls short, although it all depends on when you get it. If you're able to find all the ingredients before Plantera, which would be very tricky, the Ankh Shield will definitely be a lot more useful than it would be if you used it later on after Golem, which is when most people do make it. The reason that it's not worth the grind post Golem is because out of all 13 immunities that it provides, only 2 of them are actually useful post Golem: immunity to bleeding and knockback. Immunity to bleeding is a little bit useful since Duke Fishron can inflict it, although the debuff itself isn't even that powerful since it only prevents natural life regeneration for a couple seconds. Then, immunity to knockback is useful in general for all types of fights, since preventing yourself from being knocked around all over the place helps with aim, obviously. Overall, usefulness is where I think the Ankh Shield falls short compared to other accessories at this stage of the game. Unless you grind for it early hard mode, it's not very good. Lastly, another point I want to make is about appropriate substitutes for the Ankh Shield. Now that I've pointed out why I think the Ankh Shield is somewhat useless endgame, here are some popular accessories that are way easier to craft and that I think personally do a better job endgame by providing more useful abilities. The Master Ninja Gear, allowing you to dash and ignore attack damage. The Celestial Shell, giving you a heavy increase to defense, damage, speed, and more. Your own class specific emblem, giving you a massive 15% damage increase. The Charm of Myths, increasing survivability greatly by providing life regen and lowering the healing potion cooldown. And the Soaring Insignia, basically turning you into a mobility god. Overall, in my opinion, the Ankh Shield is generally not worth the grind. Once again, I say this because of 3 main reasons. First, it can be a pain to grind for it with mostly low drop chances from mostly hard mode exclusive enemies. Second, it's not very useful post Golem. Out of 13 immunities in total, the only 2 which are useful endgame are immunity to bleeding and knockback. Third, there are better substitutes that I'd rather choose, like the Master Ninja Gear, Celestial Shell, and more. For all these reasons, my final conclusion is this: while you're playing Terraria, if you happen to get many of the Ankh Shield's components luckily, go ahead and craft it. Otherwise, I would not suggest grinding for it and instead using a different accessory that boosts your damage, defense, or other attributes. But hey, this is all just my opinion. What do you guys think about the Ankh Shield? Is it worth the grind, or are there better accessories you should use instead? Leave a like for more content and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.